You wanna start it and I'll call him?
Yeah, let's run it up. Welcome back, guys. We're here in the studio. Your boy Joe, your boy Gavin. We have a very, very, very special first part of this episode. We have a very close friend of ours who is a financial markets genius turned exotic car collector. So, of course, he wants to talk to the best here to get some market insights. We're going to have a little bit of debate. You want to bring him in?
Yeah, let's give him a call.
Let's run it up.
First time ever live call.
On the pod. See how this goes. I'm actually really excited.
Ooh,
Not bad. I feel like we're on a radio show.
I know.
This your boy JGM in the power.
Hello.
What's up, bro?
Hi there. You're on with Dave Ramsey. What is your car payment?
What up, E?
How you doing?
I'm chilling, brother. How are you?
I'm doing well.
You're
Can't
on-
complain.
You're on. How's it feel?
It feels like it's about time.
You're our first phone-in guest.
It is an honor and a privilege.
How much am I allowed to say about you as a human being? Can I just say you're a nice person? Is that all? Or do you want me to give more details?
Probably a small amount for now.
Okay. Well, like I kind of mentioned a little before you hopped on the call, he is a financial market genius turned exotic car collector. So that's all I'll say. Very, very, very respectable kid. He's actually a big reason of why I am who I am today, but also he's kind of like a glue piece from Gavin and I from back in college. So one of those fun things, you get to guys see some deeper lore between the Supercar connection dynamic.
So anyway, Eric is buying some cars for investing and just recently sold his Pista. Eric, when did you buy your Pista?
I bought the Pista 4 months ago. So I'm about to sell the other. It's kind of in the middle of a trade and it's a little confusing. So basically I want to say August, I bought a Pista for $550,000.
Okay.
I want to say 13 or 14,000 miles on it. It was black.
What was the spec of the Pista?
Black with a red stripe down the middle, red leather interior.
Okay.
Sold it, I want to say a month ago for $550. So caught a decent amount of the Ferrari pump from, I think, Monterey Car Week auctions. You guys would know more about that than me.
Relatively so.
But Ferraris have been moving. And
They're moving because all their new cars suck.
Every old Ferrari's been moving like crazy.
the new
So
ones do
everyone's
suck.
like, oh, well, all the new ones suck, so we got to buy up the old ones.
Yeah.
They're never making anything better than these.
Correct.
And they are pretty awesome, so I can't really blame people. So sold that for $550. The plan was to flip it into basically a better spec of a Pista with lower miles, so it could be more of a like in the collection
Collector
for
car.
a long time. Yeah. Versus the 13 or 14,000 miles that was on the black one. So there's a yellow one with like, I want to say 2,000 miles on it. The MSRP of that one was like $500K. My black and red one was like $350K. So big step up in spec. And it is available for $750,000. And right now, I'm torn between that or getting rid of my Urus Performante and using that 750 and buying a...
Have you enjoyed the Performante?
Well, yes. I think the Performante is a perfect daily driver. The problem is right now where I'm living, everything is super far away, so I wasn't actually using it as a daily driver. And I started driving a Tesla because self-driving is very convenient at 6 in the morning when I'm going to the gym and it's like 25 minutes away.
I respect that.
So Performante, absolutely loved it. Perfect daily driver. If I lived somewhere where everything that I do is within 5 to 10 minutes, I would be driving that car all the time. That's not my current situation. So I was like, I'm going to drive something more fun. So I have an F8 that I drive kind of whenever I'm doing something close by or just if I feel like driving it.
An S8?
An F8.
F8. Yeah, the
Ferrari F8.
I thought it was an S8. I was like, when did we
F8,
sneak
F8.
that into the collection? I was like, that's a random one.
Yeah, so getting rid of the Performante, either just for whatever or using that, the 750 that would buy the upgraded Pista and buying a Ford GT with like 1,400 miles, carbon edition.
Okay.
Or
Carbon
other
edition.
stuff. The other cars in the collection, I think you guys know most of it. There's a Aventador SV, which Joe might buy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's a little leak. I don't know how
we
serious he is,
we've
but we
dabbled.
threw around the idea.
I'm relatively serious. I think again, there's an open conversation to be had about your SV, but we'll continue with the collection. Go ahead.
There's the AMG GT Black Series with 260 miles on it. That
Very nice.
my
Delivery
plan
miles,
is,
basically.
sit in a warehouse, auction it off one day, something like that, like a mint condition Black Series. That one is silver and carbon fiber, which kind of screams like Mercedes colors to me.
Mm-hmm.
I do also have a Acura NSX Type S, but I followed your advice, Gavin.
You do,
Yes, I do, and I followed
and you're
your.
just now telling me this.
I thought breaking news
Live on the
pod
pod
is how we
live
do it.
on the podcast. Didn't we talk about this on an episode too? We talked about
we
the
did
concept?
talk about this. Yeah,
Come
yeah.
on, Eric.
You followed
And-
my advice and got delivery miles.
Yes, low miles. It is yellow. There's only 7 yellow ones in the U.S.
Okay.
And it's
Did
just.
you buy it from Florida?
I don't think so. I need to ask. I have a.
Need to ask
Yeah, I already know where you bought it from.
his collection manager.
Well, not really collection.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt. Keep going. Keep
No,
going.
it's fine. Collection manager's hilarious though.
Yeah. Honestly, that the yellow on the NSX is one of the best yellows out there.
Yeah, I'll send you some pictures
Yeah.
of it. It also has, I think, 6 of those 7 yellow NSXs have like an all black interior, and this one has like a white and black interior. So
Okay.
kind of neat.
Rare spec.
You're really bullish on that car, huh?
I yes, mostly because of my friend who is super bullish on them.
Okay.
Same friend who has helped facilitate some of my purchases. Who you guys have kind of gotten to know a little bit. I'm sure you'll get to know him later. And then a Murcielago. And that one, I need to check the mileage because I don't know it off the top of my head because I don't keep all of these in my house. So I'm not really like seeing them all the time. It's around 10,000 miles. Black, red interior.
Okay. Okay. Kind of.
So now we're basically to lay it out. We're looking at like $1 million budget to try and get the best investment car.
Correct. So Black Series locked in, Type S locked in, SV, Murcielago. But I'm also probably going to sell the SV and F8. Not selling the F8. I meant selling the SV, but the F8 is also in the collection. I don't want to lose all my Ferrari exposure because I love Ferrari. My first email address as a kid was Ferrari Rocks. So, got to stick with that theme. I don't know if you guys actually even know that.
No, we didn't know that extra lore. I love the way that you always know how to say the right terms for it. Like just the way you say Ferrari exposure. You're like, I need a little bit of skin in the Ferrari game in case we see a nice little pump here.
They've been running, but
get Ferrari up table.
They've been running, but they could just keep going. I don't want to be sidelined.
I completely agree.
So
They can keep going. There's no doubt that's possible because I'm sure there was people, selling Carrera GTs at $700,000 going, well, it just went from 3 to 7, so I'm going to cash out now. And now it's 1.7 for the same car.
Yeah,
Or
they
selling-
can very easily keep going.
or selling a Lexus LFA for a few $100,000 before the same run that the Type S is about to go on.
Here we go.
Wow, that's a
is
bold
huge
claim.
right there.
Okay, maybe not same run, but
So as you describe all this, I mean, you've got the Ford GT. I obviously know exactly what you're looking at. Can I just go ahead and say the details because this is going to come out in like 2 weeks, so it'll either happen or not by then.
Great.
Do it.
It's a 2022, like 14, almost 1,500 miles, and it's a carbon series. You've heard a lot of your favorite influencers out there claim that carbon series, they only made 50 of them. This is not true. It's just, it was in some articles. I don't think Ford was super clear about how many they were making, and someone said 50 one time, and they just ran with it. And now it's like a common misconception that they only made 50 carbon series cars. Now, they made like 50 a year.
Okay.
So, super forum guy, you know how every forum has a super forum guy that tracks everything?
Yeah, guys, way too into it.
So, he said there were 241 by 2020, and he thinks there's 300 something now.
that is more than
Really?
50.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you go look at listings, it's kind of like 1 in 4, 1 in 5 listings are a carbon series, which would track with 2 to 300. There's a 1350 total production on the Ford GT.
Do you know if that number that he mentioned is like Canada and US or global, or because from my understanding, like
probably
US is kind of what, if you live in the US, should care about the most, because with tariffs, they're probably not moving all over continents all that
I agree.
often, but I could be wrong.
I can say with confidence that the vast majority of Ford GTs are going to be American.
I agree.
So those are probably total numbers.
They are
But out of
Fords at the end of the day. So
out of like 300 something cars, you're looking at probably 250 would be in America.
okay,
Maybe 20 or so Canada would be the split, and then
Right
I don't
on
know.
there.
Yeah,
I agree.
that's probably about what you're looking at. So, and you're looking at a 2022, the final production year, which is always good in a car. I don't know how much of a premium that should carry necessarily for a car like that where nothing really ever changed.
right.
Um,
I think
but
I think this can turn into a fun little segment in your guys' podcast that doesn't necessarily just apply to me, but if you had part of a collection, or you could ignore that part even if you wanted to, but around a mill, try and add a couple pieces to your collection that you view as investments. Maybe you'll drive them a little, maybe you just warehouse them and drive it like every few months or something like that. But with those budgets, with that budget, I guess I would love to hear both of your guys' thoughts. And I know we've talked about the Ford GT because we were texting earlier today. But yeah,
I'll kind of go first. I'll let Gavin get a second here. And this is just, again, me just on the top of my head, my personal opinion. So the conversation, really the discussion here is what do we think is the best way to deploy $1 million across the board, all in one, to be able to get an investment grade vehicle for the near to short term future, correct? Eric, what's our time frame here?
correct.
6 to 12 months, 12 to 18 months, what are we looking at?
I'm not super picky, to be completely honest with you. The reason the Ford
Perfect.
GT kind of caught my attention is because I think it pushes you into a slightly separate tier from, like, I don't know if these are the technical terms for it, but like supercar to more of a hypercar. And I think
That's a fair reasoning.
the price action on those, so to speak, varies a little bit. And I think having some exposure in a slightly different category could be cool, but I'm not married to that idea.
Okay. I think your idea is there in a sense. It's always nice and conceptually to think, all right, well, no, I have enough money to pull together to get one of the, I'm saying lower tier hypercars because I'm talking about the dollar. I'm not talking about the caliber of car here because 4G is a lot of car. But ultimately, I think, again, the point of everything is to deploy the capital for an investment. So I wouldn't say I'm necessarily as bullish on the 4GT, even the Carbon series, just from looking at the market and demand, really. I know we've seen a really large push of the older generation 4GTs really climb, but again, Gavin can attest to the reason why, but there's a very specific reason why those cars are pumping. Again, the motor setup manual is very helpful as well compared to the new 4GTs. So I understand what you're thinking by this. If you can crack into hypercar, it's basically like the same concept. You're like, oh, if I can get a one out of the money option versus buying 10 OTMs, and then I'm now all of a sudden my delta's kicking up, or I got a couple ticks on futures or anything like that. You think it's going to be better for you, but at the same time, it's a little bit more risk. I don't see them moving too crazy. That's my opinion. I think you're better off moving into maybe deploying into two separate vehicles. I would lean heavy on Ferrari exposure on the older tier models because you have your current Ferrari exposure is F8, and then with selling the Pista, you have nothing else, correct?
Correct. So, I mean, I could just keep the Pista, and I think it's like one of the best spec Pistas, I just think, because they've ran, a fair amount this year. And it's not the convertible, so it's not quite like the creme de la creme, but it is one of the best Pista specs I've seen.
Yeah, it's that one. I know the one you're talking about. It is pretty mint. I wouldn't be against you getting one of the older, more traditional Ferraris, like even the 355 or the F430, and because those aren't uberly expensive currently. I think you'd be better off placing yourself in one of those and still have money to be up into something else. Personally, and this is where I think we might all have a divide here. If I was to sell a car and upgrade to a better trim, it would be the SV out of your entire collection. I think that car is poised to position itself tremendously over the next, I would say, 12 to 18 months. Because again, the whole concept, the reason why the markets are moving drastically in the cars they are is because we're realizing that, okay, hybrid technology still has a lot of quirks, got to work through a lot of stuff. Analog is what people want. They want the driving experience. So I personally think there is no better driving experience than an Aventador. And on top of that, the SV is the most limited run Aventador. So I think that car's position. So I would prefer you move into a better spec SV, maybe like an SV Roadster, super low mileage, very high spec, in the mid 700s, low 700s, high sixes, and that car work its way up towards $1 million versus you getting into a low or a carbon GT Ford or Ford GT carbon series and it do a similar move. I think you're better positioned off in an SV and split it with a lower tier Ferrari, older lower tier Ferrari, than dumping all your money into the Ford GT.
I like the
That's
vision.
my synopsis.
The SV that I do have is a Roadster, but I mean, I think it has like 20,000 miles on it, so it's not like the mint, collector one.
Yeah,
So I mean, there definitely could be an upgrade there. So would you?
Yeah, because we just had a client of ours,
Mhm.
and I helped him. We helped him get a SV Roadster. He actually purchased the vehicle back in April for, I believe it was $625, very high spec Roadster, painted badges, everything else between, and he just got it appraised for right over $700. So he's sitting very pretty in that car too, and I think that's the beginning movement of those cars. I don't even think that car has done.
And seven's definitely the market on what his mileage is too.
Correct. And he's got maybe 6K on it now. He bought it with 4. He's got 6K on it now and it's coming. So if you can get a under 5,000 mile SV Roadster mint spec, I think that car will be $1 million in the next 12 to 18 months. That's my personal opinion.
I could keep the awesome spec Pista, sell the Performante and the SV, use the Urus Performante funds to upgrade the SV, and then I still have the Pista and an Aventador.
There we go.
I think, you look at those two cars, I think your upside on appreciation on those two cars combined, I think there's more potential than the Ford GT. Like the Ford GT, could it be like a 1.25 million car? Yes. One, I'm a little worried about 1,400 miles because even though that's for most cars so low, when you look at the Ford GT market, most of the people that are flipping those cars didn't drive them at all. They literally took delivery, stuck them in their garage until their contract was up, and now they're selling them with like 200 miles.
Yeah, I did see a lot of the
most
bigger sales.
Most of the Ford GTs,
50. Sorry,
yeah, most of them are like most of them are like under 500 miles. So you're splitting hairs at that point. But to pay kind of a premium with where sales have been as of late for a car with 1,500 miles, that would worry me a little bit. I mean, you really couldn't drive it, I don't think. And then, again, maybe it goes to like 1.25. It just goes back to there's just not enough demand around that car. All the demand is from old guys.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but again, everybody's gonna knock me on this, and I don't care what anybody says, okay? Because again, older guys, they care about this crap.
Yes.
The V6 killed that car, and I hate to say it, it did.
And and it's silly as it is, like the influencers kind of have pushed the market.
Yeah, they have.
And every influencer that's gotten that Ford GT does not keep it long.
Nope.
And that's never a great sign for,
Correct.
That's
for
fair.
that. Because they're buying it for a reason, and then it's not serving the purpose that they're buying it for, which means that, the market's not there. The appreciation for the car is not there.
I agree.
The old Ford GT, they were all 6-speed manual. You got a supercharged V8 6-speed manual American supercar. People are looking at that car going, wow, this is, quite the package now looking back. And those cars sat on dealer lots. No one wanted them. And then all of a sudden, they've appreciated ever since. So I like your plan with the Pista and the SV. You're getting... And the only thing I would maybe change would be the SV, and then instead of getting a Pista, look at a 458 Speciale instead.
Those ones are like
'Cause
a
those
mil
are-
right now, right? Aren't they? Or not quite?
Depends. The lower tiered specs are probably still in the low 7s, maybe high 6s. The last time I checked,
Yeah.
And then most of them, the topper tier ones are mid 8s.
Top tiers.
Yeah, mid 8s, low 9s.
Top tiers.
What I really need to find is a good F430 Scud.
Can I make a suggestion, Eric? That again,
Please do.
take it or not. But do you want to go? How risky do you want to go?
I'm all about risk, baby.
You want to full send something? Sell the SV, sell the Pista, sell the Perf, buy a Pista Spider, and sit on it. The lowest mileage, highest trim Pista Spider that you can get with that combined budget, and just sit on the Pista Spider. Because if the Pista market's going to do what you think it is, the Pista Spider is going to be your highest price action movement on the car you already bullish on. So if you can pull those funds together, might cost you over an M, but if you're as bullish as you are on the Pista market, instead of going for a higher spec coupe, play in the big leagues. You'll have your PA in the hypercar range. You're in your bullish car that you're very familiar with. Again, we invest in things that we are familiar with and we know. And that way you can carry the same market that you're already bullish on, but have more exposure by a higher PA car.
It's not a bad idea. I haven't really looked at the ones available because my Pista right now is like 750, SV like 550, and Urus, I don't know, 280, something like that. So I don't know what Spider options are available for like 1.5, but I haven't looked. So that could be a good idea.
All of them.
Yeah. I think all of them are at 1.5. I think all of them
1.5
are.
unlocks you to anything, I think.
Yeah. So I think that's not a bad idea either.
That would be a sit car, though.
It would be.
That would be a car that, like, if you're driving it every once in a while, you're driving it 3 miles
That's okay.
every once in a while.
My where I keep most of my cars is a few states away. So
It's very nice. There's no temptation there.
exactly.
There's no temptation.
I have one.
But I think that's
I have one fun one at my house at a time. Right now it's the F8, and I have no problem putting as many miles as I want on it because I didn't really buy that one to, make money on it. It was like to scratch the Pista itch because the Pista isn't here.
Yeah, no, I understand. I think that car can probably afford the most miles, and you're still sitting pretty chill in that car.
Yeah, it only has like
is
2,000.
I'll be seeing your F8 very soon.
Yes, you will. Wait,
Well, actually, by the time this comes out, I will have already seen your F8.
you will have driven it.
And yeah, unless you're out of town again.
No, I'll be here.
Yeah, dude, the last time killed me. Can I say what you were doing the last time that we went to wherever you were at? Am I allowed to say that?
Not yet.
All right, bet. That's fine. You guys will have to wait on it.
Had another trip right when Gavin and Joe were both in town, so that was a bit of a bummer. And I think I told you guys like the day before.
Yeah, you didn't mention anything. we were like, hey, we're coming to you, and you were like, oh, I'm not gonna be here.
So you've got some decent plans here. I think you've got all chips all in on the Pista Spider, high spec, low mileage Pista Spider. That's we'll call that option 1. We've got consolidate high spec Pista Coupe and higher spec SV Roadster.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one is just to go in on the 4GT Carbon Series. I think the 2 Italian options are I can't decide which one I like more. I definitely think the 4GT is my it's at the bottom of the list for me.
I agree.
Like, I don't think it's the worst move you could make. So don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
Like, there's potential there. I just, like, my confidence level is not as high because they're just there's just not the demand for that car.
There really isn't.
For sure.
Don't be shy. Don't be shy either. To, again, depending on what you end up doing, depending on what actually you want to sell, what you liquidate, don't be afraid to look into the older Ferrari market, like some of those cars I named, 355s, even the 599. Like, those cars are really creeping up fast because, again, everybody loves Ferrari. Now everybody hates the new model, so they're going, okay, if Ferrari keeps this up, there is genuinely nothing going to be like any of those cars they built. Because remember, back in those times, Ferrari was beating everybody. Ferrari was the king of the supercar world during all those cars. So those cars were the top tier during their time. So that not be a bad idea either. Even if you keep your current Pista, you sell the SV, maybe sell the Perf, and then again, I would still get an SV over older Ferraris. But if you don't want any more Lambo exposure and you like Ferrari exposure, don't be afraid to diversify into some older Ferrari models.
6-speed 360s were like 130, 140 grand earlier this year. I don't know how much they've climbed since.
I think a lot.
Really, a lot?
Yeah, that's why I'm telling him. Like, I forgot exactly what I was watching, but there's a a gentleman that owns a supplement company out in Florida. His name is Ivan. I forgot his last name, but he did a walk around of his garage and he was literally pointing out 3 old Ferraris. Like, I bought these 4 months ago and they're all doubled. All of them doubled. And I forgot. I think it was F430. I believe it was 355, and I want to say it was exactly what you just named, or 599. I can't remember.
360 is what Matt has.
I think something like that. They all went parabolic. So I know, again, if you want Ferrari exposure, Eric, that's not a bad idea.
And that's a car like that. You get a 6-speed manual 360. You can keep that in your house and you can drive it.
Yeah.
Like if you put 2,000 miles a year on it, it's not going to be the end of the world.
Because they're older, the mileage doesn't
because
matter as much.
they're older. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get one with like 12,000 miles. Never mind. I'm not even going to spit out miles because I don't actually know that much. But yeah, those are cars where it's like the 30,000 mile car isn't that much different than the 20,000 mile car or the 40,000 mile car because they're older. A lot of them have some miles on them at this point.
I do like the idea of some of the older Ferraris. I mean, I was looking at F430 Scuds or Scuderia. I'm not sure how you say it, but
Scuderia.
There we go. 0 for 3. They were like 300 or 350 or something, and now there's nothing listed below like 500 something. How often in the car world, when there's like a catalyst that, pumps a bunch of these almost 2x within the same year, is there like a slow period where some of them pull back a bit, or is it just kind of...
Well, there hasn't been that many times where cars have pumped like this. The Carrera GT did pump over 1 million very rapidly, and then it came back down to like 600,000, 700,000, and there was a moment where you could get them in the 6s after they crossed 1 million and mini sold for 1 million, and then now they're upper millions.
Well over. Remember, Eric, everything is majority cyclical as well. So like right now, if you think about it, now granted, we're talking about a tier of car where this concept doesn't affect the type of people that are buying these cars, but like generally speaking, the liquidity in the market is not tremendous because of the way the economy is. So I think, again, in 12 months when things are flowing a lot better, I think everything's going to be poised to pop a little bit. So everything that's already running will continue to run, my personal opinion.
The other effect in all of this is how expensive new cars are. So the Huracan was like, upper 2s, up to $300,000 car. By the end of the run, with Evos, they were $350,000 cars, brand new, I think. And
depending on the spec, you get up there.
And then the Temerario is going to be over 4 in most cases.
Yep.
So that used to be Aventador pricing. That used to be the V12 pricing, and now it's entry-level pricing. And same thing, you look at Ferraris. I mean, and then what's the new Aventador replacement? I'm blanking.
Oh, the
Revuelto.
Yeah.
The Revuelto. Wow, I glitched. The Revuelto, those are 600 plus thousand. So you're getting like the top tier cars are now over 6. They used to be $400,000 cars. Now they're 6 something, 700,000.
Yep.
And the entry level cars used to be in the 2s, and now they're 450. So since that's the barrier to get a new car now, obviously that just brings all the old cars up. And then on top of that, everyone kind of hates the new cars and wants the old car experience, drags it up even more.
I agree.
It's the great repricing.
It is.
And then people can finance what they didn't used to be able to. So that just also helps. There's lots of factors that go into it.
Can I get my final remarks?
Please do.
Eric, I know you very well. I know your investment strategy very well. And if you want the honest Eric move, go all in on the Pista Spider.
I respect it.
That's knowing you, knowing your investment history, knowing the way you like to do things. When somebody like yourself has high conviction on something, that's to be said. And I know you have extremely high conviction on that market specifically. So if you want, position yourself as strategic as possible in that market and don't afraid to go for the big shot. Because most of the other people don't know, you understand this, is when your conviction's high and you have the gun loaded, don't be afraid to take the big shot because there's a big reward there. So that's my honest opinion.
Get the best spec Pista Spider, auction it off in like 5 years for 2.5.
Something like that, exactly.
Yeah. That doesn't seem that crazy.
It doesn't.
It doesn't seem that crazy.
I'm telling you. I think it's doable.
Because a lot of those, so many of the Pistas at that point are going to have some miles.
Yep.
So The one that has not, the one that's delivery and clean spec and everything is going to be so valuable.
Remember, really think about what the Pista is. It's the latest Ferrari technology while still having some of the most raw analog driving experiences. That, for example, like the F8 is very fantastic, but there's an element of rawness that the 488 Pista has that no other car has. It's literally like the last raw driving Ferrari that there will be. Again, I don't think anything else, unless they really dial it back, there's nothing going to be like it. So you literally are positioning yourself in the best spec one.
I agree. I think that makes sense. It sounds like we'll be sending each other some links after this. After you guys are done recording.
Yeah, he's not.
Can't wait.
At night,
We'll try to find some maybe off market deals for you too.
Yeah.
See what's out there.
We got a couple people we know.
Let's
Make
see
some
what we
phone calls.
got.
Well, Eric, any last words for the viewers?
Appreciate you guys having me on. It's a fun time to be doing stuff in the car world with how much the automotive industry is changing with all these hybrid engines and other stuff that we've been talking about. So, yeah, it's been fun.
It's a wild collab that happened right now.
I know.
Such a wild collab.
Well, thanks for being our first call. This was fun.
Of
We'll have
course.
to do more of these.
I'll see you in like a week.
Proof of concept. See you soon, baby.
Eric,
Thanks, guys. Love you guys. See ya.
Wow. First call. How'd that feel?
I thought that went awesome.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, I think that was sick. Again, you guys make sure, please leave a comment down below. Let us know what you guys thought about that. Let us know if you guys want to incorporate that more. Even let us know if you guys wanted to be able to do something where you guys that are watching this, we can have some conversations with you guys. But I thought that was awesome.
Because that's probably coming too, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Some combos with viewers. Also, comment what you think is the best strategy that we covered.
Yeah. I think
Or
that's
did we
great.
just totally miss something? Did we just...
Yeah, is there something blatant in our face that we just absolutely missed? Trust me, the whole time I was thinking, I was like, what am I missing? What am I missing? What am I missing? I didn't mention, and granted, you mentioned it with the Speciale. Again, it really depends on what he wants to do. Does he want more exposure to various cars, or does he want to bulk his money and get, like he talks about? In his head, the hypercar means more movement. So he means bigger gains, which, again, I get it. It's like leverage. He's spot trading right now, and he wants to start leverage trading. Right. But it doesn't always work that way.
It doesn't.
Because there's more risk involved too. So
because you're looking at something like a 918 that was $800,000-$900,000 when it was new, and you're like, well, now they're 2 point something, and it's like, it seems like the car that can double, but the Ford GT was a $500,000 car, so it already has doubled.
It has.
So you think it's going to double again? I just don't see that. I don't see the Ford GT being $2 million. There's 1,350 of them.
I don't think so at all.
Which not like there's not models out there with that are that expensive with 1,350. Are there? What's a $2 million car with 1,350
units?
Production? Yeah.
Whew, I couldn't name one off the top of my head. Not at all. Here's my
not like that. Not that that's high, but it is high for cars that are that expensive.
It is high for cars that are that expensive.
That are
so,
that
like
expensive.
For example, like how many SVJs are there?
1,800.
That car hasn't doubled. That car's not going to double. Will
From
it
where
double?
It is?
Huh?
From where it is?
From where? I mean, maybe
I could see a 63
soon.
being 2 million.
Yeah.
But they're also 1.4 now.
Right, exactly. That's not that.
If you would have bought an SVJ 63 earlier this summer, you'd be in a really good position.
You'd be chilling on it. Even SVJ Roadsters are now back over $1 million, which is pretty crazy to me.
Like that gray one that we saw in Monterey. Do you remember what they were trying to sell it for?
I think it was right at an M.
Yeah, I want to say like 1.1.
Something. It was relatively close to an M.
Like look at that today. Oh my gosh. If you got into that, that would be stick it in the back of the garage, put a bubble over it,
and just let it chill.
Just let it sit there.
That's it.
Which I'm all for driving your cars, which again, we've talked about. There's multiple strategies why you're buying a car. Obviously, it's great to see people drive cars like they've been driven, but also at the same time, I think cars are like art pieces in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And when you have something super high spec and it's low miles and it's, I don't know, 8 years old, you go, okay, well, someone can buy the low mileage, perfect, pristine example and then start beating it and driving it like it's supposed to be. Or this, at this point, can be preserved as like this perfect piece. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it all depends on what you're buying the car for. If you're investing, then buy the lowest mileage car possible and don't drive it, because you got to think like the investors. You got to think like your future buyer. If you're buying an investment car, one day you're trying to sell to an investor. They don't want the 20,000 mile SV. They want the 800 mile SV.
Correct. That's high sticker.
Viola Parsife.
Yep. Painted badges.
Pacife.
Yep. Painted SV badges.
Painted SV badges.
That's the type of thing they want. And again, I think Eric has a very solid collection, and I think it's a lot of those cars are poised to go up. I also think part of what I disagree with, and again, we haven't seen a ton of movement before. Like everyone's talking about the car market going crazy, and yes, we've seen other certain cars pop over the last 10 years. Don't take it out of context, but the amount of movement out of the entire board of cars, I don't think has ever been done before. We're talking more than just one or two types of car. We're talking almost like, for example, older Ferraris. Almost every single older Ferrari is popping right now. There's never been like this before. So again, it's something that we're crossing into new territories, and I don't want people to run away. I don't necessarily think because of it, not every single car that we talk about being beneficial is going to pop another 100% in 6 to 12 months. Remember what we're talking about here. You're talking about a $300,000 car turning into a $600,000 car. It happened in a couple months. That doesn't happen all the time. It might take 12 to 18 months for that same thing to happen again. Doesn't mean that the car is necessarily bearish, doesn't mean the car is bad, doesn't mean the demand's not there. Just we're talking about 100% gain on a $300K product. That doesn't happen all the time like that. So don't be surprised if the next wave takes 6, 12, 18 months to hit, and then all of a sudden it happens in 2 months. And people go, oh, well, that took a year and a half. No, it didn't. There was no movement, and then in 2 months, it popped again. So it's all about positioning, in my opinion. It's all about understanding what market could pop and buying cars that are very, very, very high demand for a fair value, allowing them to pop, and then you exit.
Yes. And safe bets for cars with lots of demand, Ferrari, Porsche, Lamborghini, in that order.
Yep, always. Lambo V12s, old Ferrari V8s, any old Porsche, and I hate to say that, but it is. It is what
Any
it is.
old manual Porsche.
Yep, it is what it is.
With a GT.
Yep. Even some of the turbo cars is crazy.
You want to say something crazy?
No. Say it. Let's hear it.
I feel bad. I hate to be the car hater because it's like
Let's hear it. I don't.
it's not really,
I love being the car
I don't like
hater.
sharing these things because I'm kind of the nice guy. But then I have the thoughts, so it is what it is. I'm following behind a 718 Cayman, okay? Like a new one. Just a base 718 Cayman.
I can't wait to hear this.
With no window tint, bone stock. I can see straight through it. And I'm just following this car. I know it's a 4-cylinder Porsche 718 Cayman. And I'm just like, why does this car really exist? Because I'm thinking, I know how much it cost. Like, those cars are like 70 grand, I think. You go and buy one new at Porsche. Who's paying 70 grand for the 4-cylinder basic 718 Cayman? I don't know. And I was just looking at like those skinny wheels because it's not a GT car.
You know why? Because that guy's going to hang out with all the Porsche bros and be like, guys, I got one too.
How'd you know it was a guy?
Oh, are you kidding me? I for sure. But you know why? Because if it was a female, a man like that having a female, he would had her right. She wouldn't have been in a 718 Cayman, I promise
Well,
you.
it's funny because so many people say that the 718 is a chick car.
It is.
It's only driven by guys.
Yeah, because it's guys that don't know what they're doing. Because again, here's my biggest thing, and this is a part of why I hate the Porsche culture, okay? Because for that car price, okay, if you were a car guy, right? I'm talking about you're an actual car guy. You like Porsche, that's different. Because you can like Porsche, but know that that product specifically is ass. Okay?
Yeah, go get an old 911.
Yeah, exactly. Get one of those cars, or go get again. For $70K, there's a bunch of fun cars you could get. But you're in that car because this is again why I've always hated Porsche. That person looks at Porsche and for whatever reason thinks that this moniker is God's gift, and they go, "Okay, I can afford one. Yeah, I can get a 718 Cayman. I'm in the group." No, you're not. You're in the equivalent of driving I don't even know. Yeah, like exactly. What would you say?
Macan.
Macan, exactly. You're so far off of the spectrum, but again, because the product exists, and again, people don't know what they're buying, they think they're assimilating in the group. That's just not how it works.
Like I think a Macan has more of a place in the Porsche lineup, and I would rather drive a Macan than a base 718 Cayman.
I completely agree with you. I think
I saw a GT4 RS on the road a couple days ago. I'm a fan.
I think here's my
Also
problem.
the Boxster Spider. I'm a fan.
I'm a fan of the Boxster Spider.
But those base I mean they put the GT3 flat 6 in it. It screams.
I'll tell you right now,
I'm
though,
here for it.
I would never own that car though.
I know you wouldn't.
I'm being honest with you, and it's nothing to do against the Porsche. I actually do like that car.
You wouldn't fit.
I wouldn't fit, and I hate the idea of having to physically every single the roof. I have to how difficult it is. Again, I like the Corvette because it's a very snap. But I've seen the what you got to do, and there's no way I'm buying that car.
You know what's funny? I was watching a clip of Vincent Fisher popped up on my screen.
Yeah.
In the Sion, and he's talking to someone,
Isaiah.
and he's literally having to scrunch over.
Yeah, because bro's
driving the
tall.
car. I know he's tall.
Bro's tall. I think bro's like my height. He's genuinely he's
no, I know.
probably 6'4",
He's 6'4".
Yeah.
Or 6. Yeah, he's tall. He's tall. I'm like, bro, that's not worth it.
What they did talk about, because I don't know if it's the same clip, but they talked about how many miles, how many 1 mile cost him. And I think it was 1 mile was I don't know what they said, $1,000 or $700 or something like that.
Well, it has 340 miles or 270. It has it's under 500.
Something crazy.
And then he said he's driven it 7 times.
Yeah, it's something ridiculous. But they did the calculations of what the mileage, what the depreciation per mile did, and I was looking at the numbers and I went, this is so wrong in so many ways. I'm like, because it doesn't work like that, or else because they're literally doing it as if he's going to drive the miles to depreciate the car $1 million. I have to pull the post up.
They said $1 million.
It was something, and I'm like, that's not. You can drive the car that many miles. The car's still gonna be worth.
The car's not going to go
$3 million.
3.5 to 2.5.
Exactly, yeah. And they were doing. I was like, what are we posting? I forgot. I got. Don't quote me because I'm telling you, I don't remember the numbers. But when I read it, I went. It was quick maths. I did quick maths, and then I did very quick maths, and then I was like, this makes 0 sense.
Right. It sounds good.
Yes, exactly.
It sounds good.
Yeah, my friggin' thing. I'll drive $1,000 a mile. No, you're not driving $1,000 a mile in depreciation.
Now you're driving close to that if you go buy a new Spectre, but
you are driving very close to that, very much so.
Very close. Did you see a Lamborghini Veneno went up for sale?
Did it really? What is it listed for?
270 miles. Want to guess?
Wow, I'm trying to think. Wow, with 270 miles.
That's got to be the lowest one. It's a coupe.
Be.
It's a coupe.
Oh my goodness.
Which they made 4 Veneno coupes. I think one of them's in the Lambo Museum. I think there's only 3 that went out. Chris Singh has one and actually drives it, so that one's mileage-wise not 270. And then there was another one that went up for auction a while back. This one's probably the lowest mileage of the 3. It's the only one that got put in a barn and
okay. Let's
stowed
go.
away.
7.
Oh, brother.
I'm way low.
You're way low.
I knew I was. I wanted to ask over under 10, but then I was like, no, it's not fair.
Over 10.
How over 10?
Over. Capital O.
16?
You're closer.
Really? 18?
16.9.
16.9.
16.9 is the list price.
I guess that's pretty fair. That car is the most mental thing I've ever seen in my life.
Truly.
16.9. When did it get listed? Relatively quick, soon, last week or so.
Yeah, like last week.
Last week.
That car, there's no doubt. That is, if you look at everything that Lamborghini has made, and everyone in the comments wants to talk about how it's just a rebodied Aventador, but who cares?
Exactly.
Look at it.
Yeah.
Look at the car.
Yep.
They made 3 of them. I don't remember how many Roadsters they made. I guess it does. It's okay, they made 3 coupes originally and then ended up making 20 Roadsters, I think. Off the top of my head. Should have looked that up beforehand, I guess. So there's only 3 coupes of the original. They were all silver. And then they let people customize, there's that all white Roadster and all that stuff. So does that make the coupe more valuable, or should the Roadsters be pulling 20?
No, I think the coupes would be more valuable. And I know that's kind of crazy to say and most times backwards, but especially if it was the limited production run, they only made the 3 in silver, I think that should be making it more valuable. Because the one for sale is one of these 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that should pretty much for sure be the most expensive Lamborghini out there.
Absolutely. I don't think there's anything that should be more than that.
Than a Veneno.
Yeah.
It's a Veneno.
Yeah, it is, quite literally. I think
Go look at it.
I think that car is if you just let the SV just loose. Make the SV on ultra steroids and
give it to an alien.
Yeah, exactly. And like literally Venom. when the symbiote goes on the thing, that's what that version of that car is. And that car is freaking mental. But then again, okay, let's talk about it in relative scale, okay? Because in terms of now, this is stuff that, again, when we talk about something like this, I haven't done my powertrain research. But again, I know, for example, we saw our buddy Gintani did the reveal of the Revuelto recently, and they had a modified Sion there. That car has a similar powertrain because, again, it's a rebodied Aventador. right? Even if it does have a little bit of a power kick and stuff like that. Okay, we're not talking about anything performance-wise that's drastically different than most Aventadors. Correct? Is that fair to say?
The Sion has a hybrid powertrain.
The Sion does.
Yeah.
And then the Veneno
Veneno and
thing?
Centenario do not.
They don't. So they're more
Or
similar.
the Countach. The Sion was the only one that got like upgrades.
Its own little vibe. So this is more similar to most Aventadors.
As far as I know, is an Aventador.
Okay, like almost damn to a T.
Yes.
Okay. Let's assume
As far as I know.
Let's assume there's a small powertrain kick. Small. Let's say from like again
Like,
from
you're
the high
talking about
700s.
like horsepower?
Yeah, like let's say
like
from
a
high
tune?
sevens. Yeah, there's from high sevens it's in the eights. Let's just say that, right?
Okay, sure.
So then we're paying 16.9.
You mean to look it up live while you're
Kinda, I do want to, because my whole thing is what exactly are we paying 16.9 million for? The rarity, the
Yeah.
visual the car is.
Yeah.
Again, that's why I think that those silver roads, the silver coupes, will probably drive the most demand. I think the only way that the roadsters can drive a higher premium is if they're just specced out absolutely insane. Because those 3 coupes being silver, what are we doing with silver? Like really? What is it?
No, I'm waiting.
Oh, my bad. I thought you had you gave me that look like I'm wrong. I'm wrong. You're ready to school me right now. I'm curious.
Veneno's powertrain is based on the Aventadors, but has been significantly modified.
There we go. How significant though?
Mm,
It might be just overreacting to significant here.
right. ChatGPT might be. Veneno makes 740 to 750 horsepower, which is higher than early Aventadors. Larger intake paths, less restrictive exhaust system. Engine tuning, revs a bit higher.
It ain't shit then. So it ain't shit. That's what it is.
275 pounds lighter.
Okay, that's
Specifically
that is something.
tuned aerodynamic setup and suspension. Yeah,
It's nothing crazy.
yeah. They definitely ChatGPT led us astray in that first paragraph.
Yeah, it's again nothing crazy.
It's yeah.
So then again, goes back to my whole thing. We're paying 16.9 for the visuals and the rarity.
Mm-hmm.
That is it. There's no other level of anything else besides that aspect.
Yes.
16.9 is freaking wild.
Here's where I'm at. If there's a Pokemon card worth over $1 million, the Veneno is rightly 17 million.
I think that's fair.
Like, in no world should 17 Pokemon cards be worth a Veneno.
That's very fair. Is there 17 of those $1 million Pokemon cards?
I don't know.
That is freaking crazy. I think what we're talking about is just like, for example, right? This goes for everything investing wise, right?
Mm-hmm.
You look, and this is happening right now in the stock market. Everyone's looking at prices, and I feel like we're pretty overextended. Like we're talking about again 17 million for Veneno. But then again, you look back in time and again compare inflation, relativity, the way that currency moves. How much high? Like, are we going to see these cars for sale for 45 million one day?
Maybe.
It's just disgusting to think about.
I mean, the original like Ferrari GTO, the 288 GTO.
50.
Yeah, or more.
Yeah,
So
I suppose. I think what's going to happen is
you look at that and you go, why?
Yeah,
Because Ferrari heritage,
yeah, and then Ferrari heritage is like
of course,
the heritage.
of course.
I think what's going to happen is right now there's a huge craze, there's a huge pop in all this, in this entire world that we're immersed in.
Mm-hmm.
So I think obviously when that happens, there is a craze, there's a demand, there's a huge pop in the market. Then what happens is the dust settles. You see things that were overhyped pull back that don't have really any intrinsic value. You see what actually sticks and holds. And then from that point on, we'll actually have a little bit clearer guidance on what is actually going to appreciate and what is to come. I think right now we're in very much of like the euphoria pump stage where it's a lot, everything is pumping. Like it's safe to say again, if you bought a car in April, you're up on it. That's safe to say. But then again, some models went parabolic. So again, I think
If you bought an NSX, you're probably down 10 grand.
that's the only car.
Mm-hmm.
I think again, any Ferrari, not any Ferrari, but anything like pre-2020 Ferrari, Lambo, you're probably up if you bought it in April. In March and April is pretty safe to say. I think that entire market got a little squeeze on it a little bit. Maybe a couple cars, but even still, I think we're going to see a pop continue. We're going to have some dust settles. Some cars are going to fall off demand-wise, and a lot of these people that went, I thought this would keep going. It's not. Some good deals will be sniped there. And then you will see the cars that truly hold demand-wise, because then there's an element, too, here of, like, when we talk about these cars, there's, like, we know we talk about with Eric right now, demand, right? Well, there's two levels of demand. There's collectible investor variable demand, and then driving experience driving demand of it. So like,
I think they're tied together though.
they are, huh?
Yeah.
How do you how do you differentiate between the two? Or even is there?
I mean, okay. I think for anything where there's production, where production's not like 5 cars,
Right.
they're tied together.
Okay.
Like the Pista, it's because people love driving them, and also it's collectible. It's both things.
Right. Same thing. I think the SV fits in that same category.
And same thing with all the Porsches. I mean, the Porsche is a lot the driving thing, right? Carrera GT, it's because people love how they drive.
I guess.
Okay. You think they're just collectible?
I don't know.
Okay.
You said that the people like the driving experience, and I guess, sure.
People do like the driving
You could say that. Some people.
I think that's what has pushed the demand of that car is the driving experience. So
I think it's because it has a big motor in it. But yeah, go ahead. It's fine.
okay. Let's hear it.
No, go ahead.
No,
go
let's
ahead.
hear it.
No, I don't. That was my joke. It's a big motor.
That's it.
That's
they
the
put
joke.
a V10 in a car, and that's the one.
That's the part that people are like, finally.
Yeah.
That's my joke.
Exactly. Yeah, they put their F1 V10 in there. Which I think the story goes like they were developing a V10 for Formula One, and then by the time they were finishing it, the Formula One regulations changed, and then they were like, "Well, we have this V10. We poured a bunch of R&D into it. We can't just scrap it, so let's put it into a car." So, kind of cool.
Super cool.
And I guess the only reason that a V10 Porsche exists, the 918's V8.
Yeah. I'm telling you, both Porsches that go for a crazy amount don't have flat sixes in it. And I don't think coincidence.
Yeah. Well, how much? Well, those like GT2 RSs, the older ones, are over $1 million.
The old ones. Yeah, those are getting pretty much up there.
Flat six.
Yeah, but that's like the. Well, it's funny because those are flat sixes, but those are like the most performance oriented flat sixes. Because even like the new or the latest gen, whatever, I was looking at some of those prices. I thought they were worth more, but they're like literally what, 5s right now, I think.
Yeah, the newest ones.
High
5s.
4s, low 5s.
I've seen the high specs for
6s,
to like 6, 7.
I hate that. That's a thing that you can't say the word 6, 7, and not all of us just.
I love that you caught it.
I know, you're welcome.
I didn't even mean it, but here it was. It's natural. It comes
sad.
out natural.
What a world we live in, man.
6, 7.
The internet has ruined everything.
Hey,
everything, dude. I don't care.
How much is a GT2 RS? 6, 7. 6, 7, 100,000. 6, 7, 100,000.
I can't believe that that's a freaking thing. But yeah.
And a whole bunch of people just turned off the podcast just now.
Yeah, everyone shut it off. Like, yeah, I'm tired of listening to these
I'm
idiots.
over it.
But the reason, again, that car drives the most premium because, again, it's the most performance-oriented Porsche that there is.
Yeah.
So if you watch that trend downward, obviously, everything's relative to scale. But, like, again, it does happen to be that the most performance-driven Porsches are literally coming down there, literally in that price rank, like that, going downwards like that. And again, Porsche does what they do very well. I'm not hating on it or anything like that. They do what they do very well.
Do you want to talk about the dealership at all?
Yeah, let's run it. How much? Where time frame are we at? Just so I know relatively scale, because I don't even know how long Eric's call was.
Close to an hour.
Oh, okay, that's not too bad.
Right?
Yeah.
Close to an hour.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the dealership.
Well, we've gotten to this point. What do you think is the biggest challenge with starting a brand new dealership?
So,
Used exotic dealership.
I think that question. There's layers to that question, but I'm going to keep it very simple. So the number one thing is you have to establish like your marketplace, right? So ours being used exotic car dealer, right? We're not only a new dealer, okay, so we're starting new relations and everything else between, but we decided to pick a market that is very high dollar. So you're talking about entering a market that's already very costly. You got to come in with capital respectfully to be able to play in this market, right? That's the number one thing. The second thing is establishing any form of brand reputation. Again, you're going into a space that already has a lot of big players in it that have a lot of brand reputations established, some very positive, some very negative, and some in the middle. So again, I personally think there's a tremendous opportunity to capitalize on a lot of this, because part of why we even started this was our own personal experiences being more immersed in this world, and we noticed there's a huge gap in the way that some of these people do business. So I was like, this would not be a bad idea to start immersing in this. Again, customer service, being diligent, sharp on the market,
Answering a text.
answering a text in a reasonable time frame, answering a phone call in a reasonable time frame.
Yeah.
Stuff that really shouldn't seem like it's that foreign. You'd be surprised on some of the stuff we deal. Again, the nature of the car business is very grotesque. It's one of those things where people who work at a franchise store or anything else between that are like sales roles, I can imagine how many times somebody's hit them up and put them through the work and the cylinder of doing everything for a deal and then it falling through.
Right.
And they do the same thing. And next thing you know, they're 7 years in their career and they've done it so many times that like they almost would rather not put any effort until the person shows any signs of legitimacy.
They're just like, if you want the car, you tell me and we'll figure it out.
Exactly.
But
I don't think that's how business should be done, personally speaking. Again, you're in business to service your customers.
right. And I think the biggest thing is if you buy a car, it should not be all right, car's gone and did my job.
Exactly.
That's the person you should treat the best. They bought a car from you.
Exactly. They're the most likely to buy another car from you.
I don't care if you made $2,000 from that deal. The car was, someone wrote a check to your dealership for $300,000. So when that person has questions for you, you should respond
Easily.
quickly.
You should literally be living and just breathing to be able to service that person. Again, that person has a positive experience, leaves that place, and all of a sudden tells everybody he knows, is very positive on reviews, and again, more likely to come back to you. And then again, well, most people, people look at the individual unit. So somebody looks at the individual car, okay, how much am I going to make? If I'm going to make anything on the back end, whatever's going to happen. But it's not just about that. There's a client relation on the other end. And without clients, you have no business, okay? You can literally own all the inventory in the world. If you have no clients to sell to, you're not going to make any money. You need client relation. That's literally the number one thing that we are building the brand on. Again, podcast for the people, connecting you guys to the supercar realm. Same thing with the dealership side of it. So it's literally one of those concepts that it shouldn't be this crazy, but if somebody like Gavin said, writes you that amount of money and has follow-up questions, or even something as simple as, hey, what wheels should I get? Or what do you think would be a common exhaust that I should get? Stuff that most people might ask you. You follow up, do diligently, and you service those people to help them accomplish that goal. That's why with us, you literally can hit us up we can talk you through what kind of car you would think we should get, help you the entire service A to Z, help you with modifications, help you with transport, help you with registration, whatever it is, we can literally do it all for you. Because again, we believe in taking care of people, especially in something like this.
Yeah. And it's crazy because I don't even mean like having the answer to your question. Just acknowledging even that you received my question.
Right.
Like, hey, sorry, like I don't have an update yet. Is an update.
Exactly. Let me know that we're working
great.
on it.
I appreciate that. At least I know that you received my message.
One thing I do kind of give some validation to, it just depends on people's operations. So like it does take a long time. Deals do sometimes take a lot of effort and work. So granted, if you're working multiple deals at a time, it's hard to get a lot done because again, it takes a while, right? But again, I think the number one thing that we have a problem with in today's society is effort. Why do I think that? Because again, the world has become very plug and play. The internet, ChatGPT, AI has allowed for people to be rather lazy in a lot of things. So people don't understand and just lack a simple amount of effort into something. Like I wake up every morning and I'm literally like, all right, like we got to start doing stuff. I got to start making stuff happen. I've seen people wake up and literally methodically roll through their day with no sense of urgency, and they don't get anywhere in life. The effort comes with just consistent action. Like you said, even if there's no update, but at least, hey, you text me and I'm right back on you. Hey, I'm sorry, brother. I'll tell people sometimes, hey, they asked me something yesterday and I'm like, hey, bro, I apologize. I haven't even had a second to really give my undivided attention to your problem. I'm doing so right now. Give me a minute. I'll get right back to you. That's better than leave them on red for another 2 hours, 3 hours into the day. And now they're just pissed off. Yeah, exactly.
3 days.
Exactly. That's upsetting. But if the first day you're like, hey, we talked yesterday, I haven't even started on the task, but I'm telling you that right now, I'm going to get on it right away.
I'm talking about following up a week or two later and not getting responses, and then having to follow up, like text multiple times, call multiple times, because I haven't gotten an update in a week. And I'm just trying to see, has anything changed? Where are we at? Maybe I have an update for you. So
can I ask you a question?
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
And semi ask the viewers a question simultaneously. Do you guys think that part of the reason why we lack such communication nowadays is because again, the world has gone so cold with communication that people just don't want to deal with other people. Like when there's a problem, like for example, there's a problem that needs to be solved and we're following up later. Instead of just being like, hey, I haven't been able to solve this problem or I won't be able to solve this problem, people would rather just try to blow you off because they think they'll get away with not dealing with you than just facing confrontation. I think people are scared of confrontation.
I don't get it because a lot of times it's unavoidable. So
What a crazy concept, huh?
yeah, you might as well answer.
It's just ridiculous. People just try to brush things on the rug, and it's again, I think
Because I understand sometimes, yes. There's certain things I think it's like, oh, if I can just blow this off and string it along, maybe it'll just stop one day.
Yeah.
And that's easier than actually doing it.
I think we have too much of that in our lives. I think the internet, AI, everything, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to test it to, like I call people and I call companies and I can't even get a person to talk to. It takes me literally, like I'll pull the hair that I don't have out trying to get a hold of somebody because they want everything as automated, as simple as possible. Like we are.
Yeah, you don't want to go down that rabbit hole with me.
I can only imagine. Why? Because we're gonna fight about it or what?
Maybe. I'll just start telling you how our entire financial system is broken.
Everything is broken. I already know that. The financial system is actually cooked, quite literally.
That the stock market is the reason we're here.
I don't doubt it either. So, and we'll see what's going to happen because something's going to happen pretty soon here.
Because for a long time, here's all I'll say.
Hear me.
For a long time, it has fostered innovation, and that's usually the main argument for capitalism, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not anti-capitalist for sure. I sell supercars, so, but for a long time, fostered innovation. We got tons of innovations. The internet, Google, iPhone, AI, all this stuff. But for most companies, they have their initial innovation, and then eventually they can't really innovate anymore. Look at Apple. Apple doesn't hardly innovate anymore. What do?
Yeah, they don't really do too much innovation. They're just trying to stay on top right now.
Exactly. And they continue to do so by raise iCloud $1, raise Apple TV Plus $1, sell the iPhone for $500 more this time, sell this product for more, fire employees, have less customer service, switch it to AI. And so now it's not about making better products. It's just about how can we make our products more expensive and then also cut the cost of our company, which is usually customer service and also all of the people that would drive the innovation.
Very fair.
So now they're just this fat, bloated company that's just incrementally giving us barely better products and not doing anything groundbreaking anymore.
That's it. Just to have a positive quarterly report.
Yeah, and there's this whole article about when Tim Cook came over, or
Tim Apple.
Huh?
Tim Apple.
Yeah. Took over after Steve Jobs died.
Yeah.
And how like the whole strategy of the company changed, and it was only about shareholder value. It wasn't about product innovation. So product innovations is what pushed the shareholder value of Apple for the longest time because they were coming out with the best stuff, new stuff, groundbreaking stuff. And then Tim Cook came in, basically squashed innovation all we listen to are the finance people, cut costs, manage costs, boost profits, and now they're a company that does nothing, but we're all enslaved to them.
Yep, quite literally. I mean, that end of the day, that puts more money in his pocket. The better they perform financially and again, shareholder value.
And Apple is just the easiest, most obvious example.
100%.
That happens across the board, and you have companies who are focused on cost cutting.
Absolutely. That's why I also think part of the beauty of that, though, is it comes the natural cyclical dynamic where you have everybody on top right now gets very comfortable. Again, Apple's not doing any innovating. Again, when I started trading, Apple was the most valuable company by a landslide, and they were like the behemoth of the market. They're not even top 2 anymore. They've bumped down to 3. I remember when they were like the lone behemoth. Like everyone was what is Apple going to do? Now they're number 3. Nvidia and Microsoft have overtaken them. All I'm saying is what happens is when companies like that get too far, and now they're just trying to be this fat bloated company, like you said, it gives a lot of room for a lot of hungrier companies to take that initiative and make groundbreaking stuff. Like even OpenAI to a certain degree, that company, again, right now there's a lot of dynamic, like the way they're talking about it. Half people say that they're going to go bankrupt and they need government bailout. Half of them are saying that the company is extremely profitable. They have 800 billion users a day or whatever the number is or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, Sam Altman drives a Regera.
not bad. So that's
Depends
one of
on
the
who you
companies,
ask.
exactly. Those are one of the companies that again is driving innovation currently in that space.
Yeah.
But again, it goes back to the same point where that company is pushing innovation because they're trying to make a name for themselves and establish themselves. Eventually, it'll get to a point where, again, who knows how far AI is really going to go and how that's all going to be. But it's very cyclical. You see the same thing. Even a company that's, I'm going to say this, but like Blockbuster was the dominating its space, no innovation, just trying to reduce itself and make more profits. All of a sudden, a Netflix come in and completely wipes it off the face of the earth. Stuff like that will continuously happen. And I think a lot of companies like Apple are leaving room for things like this to happen. Very cyclical dynamic that comes into the play with a lot of these stuff like that when we talk about how do we even get on capitalism? How did we get here? What was I talking about?
I don't even remember how we got here.
We made a left to capitalism really quick.
So anyway, the biggest challenge in the deal we're starting a dealership
That back to again
is capital. No?
Yeah, I think it's capital and then brand reputation. Because also like part of what it is too, and like again, this goes back to the market that we have chosen, right? We're selling supercars, okay? We're selling products 150, 200, 250K, 300 plus, okay? When somebody's spending that amount of money, even though it's an entry-level car in our world, for some people, that's literally their entire dream is to buy a car of that value. Part of what you want, again, we're just starting out, you want to make sure that car, the product is perfect. The paint is perfect. The rims are perfect. All little curb rashes confirmed. The mechanicals are perfect. Because at the end of the day, when they leave with that car, they remember where they bought it. And if the car is perfect, it performs well and everything's fantastic, it leaves a good taste in their mouth. You want a good product with them. What happens is that does a lot of recon work. Again, you spend a lot of money on reconditioning. Again, a lot of little dollars here. You'd be surprised how your profit eats away with just little things like that. Transporting a car, detailing a car, some recon work. It can slip away quickly. But if you don't spend those initial investment dollars to have a product, you're not building a reputation. And if you're not building a reputation, you're not building a clientele base. Without a clientele base, you have no business. So it takes a lot to get off the ground. And again, it's very, very, very diligent work.
Yeah, and you're trying to have a business in supercars, and the average cost of your inventory is going to be over $200,000. And you want 10 cars, that's $2 million of capital.
Gone. And that's just inventory capital.
Yeah, that's just sitting in the room.
That's it. That's not operating capital. That's nothing else in between. That's literally just sitting here.
So I would say that's the biggest hurdle to getting started.
Capital.
You have to find, you don't have to go find $2 million necessarily. No. But in our case, we need $2 million to get everything we want in this room.
Yeah, very much so. And stock everything up.
In total.
Exactly. It's just, and again, it's our market where we've chosen to deploy ourselves to. And again, it's our specialty and what we know the best. I think it's one of the most, I also think if you're going to play this game, I think this is where it's worth playing. Because I also think there's just so much more branches from this business that creates itself. I'm not a huge fan of like the low ticket automotive business. Because again, it's also barrier to entry, the type of people you're dealing with.
Right.
I feel very blessed to be able to be in a position that I feel like we're going to deal with a lot of our viewers, which is fantastic. And then on top of that, educate people through continued watching the podcast. And then again, you guys are going to see Gavin and I's growth through this entire process for the next 10 years plus. And that's I think what I'm most excited about is this. You guys will watch this episode, and then in 10 years, we're going to look back and laugh and be like, wow, look at where we started.
Look at them in that empty room.
Yeah, kind of crazy, huh?
Yeah.
Even back when we started, like right now, looking back at the podcast 2 years ago, like we started in your room, in the living room. And now we're sitting here in our dealership floor, lifts, inventory, the whole production setup. We're going to look back in another couple of years and laugh about it. It's just being diligent, effort, customer service, and having capital. That's the hardest challenges, I would say, in my sense.
Yeah.
Right around there.
I would agree.
That's a really good question. Biggest takeaway, biggest, hardest challenges.
What
makes us different?
What makes us different?
Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing I want people to know is what makes us different. Because you can buy a supercar anywhere.
I think one, our network and our experience with everyone outside of just being a dealership. You know what I mean?
100%.
How many dealerships out there can go, yeah, let me text Alex Cantani for you?
Not a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
And they might be able to, but then Alex will be like, who's this? what exactly am I doing here?
And that's just one example, right? And then I think people who got into this business because they genuinely love the cars and they want to work for the people. They want to be responsive and they want to leave a good experience. And they want to treat people right.
I think that's a fantastic point. That's kind of what I was going to say. I think we're one of the few people that guys got to remember that Gavin and I don't come from the automotive sales world from the initial. A lot of people come to this, they started somewhere, they worked their way up, and again, that sales nature is in their blood. That again, I actually look at that as an extreme positive because we are quite literally, at one point we were people like you, buyers, and just people interested in the world, and now we own a dealership now, so we understand both perspectives of it. We haven't been brainwashed by large dealer corporations on how to do certain sleazy tactics to get you guys and screw you guys over. We genuinely just want to see the best products on the road, the best education out there, and the most transparent buying experience possible. And again, our background supports that because, again, we don't come from that world. We come from a completely different echelon. I come from automotive-related business. Gavin comes from the fintech world, and now we're completely ensembled in the dealership space for the people. That's what makes us different.
By the people.
Yep, by the people, for the people.
For the people.
And that's the last thing they said before they revolted, but yeah.
Oh, I had another topic. I don't know if I want to get too deep into that. I'm wondering if I have another topic that's like just a left turn.
How left turn?
Like it would basically just be, it's been almost pretty much just for the clip.
Let's do it. How much time we got left?
What do you mean? It's our podcast.
Oh, no, that's fine. My bad. You're right. But still.
We've been going like an hour 10.
All right, but let's do it. Send it.
So we can rip this and then we're chilling?
Send the clip.
Okay. So here's the topic. The NFL player with the best taste in cars.
Do you want me to say the right answer?
Sure, let's hear it. Do you know it?
Yeah. Josh Sweat?
Sweat?
Yeah, Josh Sweat he's got a Koenigsegg, no?
Yeah, Josh Sweat.
Josh Sweat.
Koenigsegg CCX, McLaren
It's
T1.
CCX what he has, huh?
Yeah.
That boy's got taste.
CCX, McLaren P1, and then he's got like a twin turbo Audi R8.
That boy's got taste.
I think it's twin turbo.
That boy's got
I hope I didn't
taste.
get that wrong. It's wide body. He's got a wide body Gen 1 R8.
Why don't we have him on the podcast?
I want to.
Let's have him on the podcast.
His car channel follows Supercar Connection. Here's the other thing I realized. All those cars, his P1 and his Koenigsegg, he put Tillet carbon buckets in.
Really?
I think for space. I'm
I
assuming.
was going to say, so he could fit in them?
So he could fit in them.
That boy, that's a stud right there. He gets off the line. He's two steps. He's bending the corner. He's sacking every single time. He plays defensive end, if you guys didn't know that.
So what other NFL players got a Koenigsegg CCX in the garage?
Think about that. I think it's funny because, again, you don't see a lot. Like, there's
and then
some
it's ripping it on Gold Rush.
pretty awesome things. Don't get me wrong. There's some guys out there that I know are into cars, but again, to put your money where your mouth and your desire is like that in the hypercar space is awesome. Mm-hmm. So I think, again, I would love to just have a sit-down conversation with him. Let's set it up. Anybody here can set it up for me.
I mean, answer the DM.
Yeah, I would say Josh. Yeah, just literally, let's just set it up. Let's roll. I think he plays for Philadelphia right now, no?
Now he's at the Cardinals.
Oh, now he's an ace. That's a quick little pop over. We can make a Scottsdale
for real. I seen a text Buddha. Yo, Buddha. Put me in contact with Josh.
Yeah, if you don't text Buddha, right? Text Buddha after this. Be like, yo, I need to connect with Josh, please.
You want that?
I do kind of want that. Yeah. Let's make that UW connection work for us, baby. Let's go.
Okay.
Gavin played D1 ball at UW. No one knows that lore. If you guys have tuned in and never heard that before, my man was killing it back in the day.
Practiced a lot.
I think the post-football transformations for both of us is kind of wicked too.
I was a phenomenal moving tackling dummy. Let me tell you.
But you did it though. You played D1 ball.
Yeah.
Like, you did it. What all of us dream about as kids, like you did it. Because everywhere we talk about it at APU, we talk. I went
to the playoffs. I got beat by Alabama. The whole nine.
You got all the gear.
Yeah, I got the JBL speaker with the logos on it.
That's pretty sick. I think that's pretty sick. I think it's awesome.
Every camp walk in, just a duffel bag of new shirts and hoodies, and
that's the coolest shit on the planet for me.
Go back to the equipment room. Hey, I need some new cleats. I need some new gloves. Here you go.
It was that simple.
Yeah.
We had a fighting claw to get new stuff at APU.
Know. We got a new pair of gloves every game. You just came in on game day and there was a new set of gloves at your locker. Fresh set. You go out and you're just catching balls one-handed because it's literally a brand new set of gloves.
That's so lit, dude. That's so lit.
Some guys would grab a new set at halftime.
Are you serious? That's so lit. I had our gloves that they gave us for practice, and then I had my own game gloves. That
at APU they gave us They gave us one set of gloves for the season.
Yep. Those are my practice beaters. And I had my own special set of game gloves that I wore.
Yeah, I ordered like 6 sets.
Yeah,
I would only wear them for 3 games probably.
Exactly.
Because I was used to getting a new set every game. So I don't know if you know this. Those Nike gloves, a new pair degrades quickly.
Very quickly.
It's parabolic. It degrades quickly and then tapers off.
Yeah.
It's
literally.
like the supercar market. Okay. It drops hard and then tapers off. So, after like 2-3 games, the 4th through 10th game are kind of the same.
Yeah, very much so.
Until eventually they turn into nothing. But that first game, when they're brand new,
just glue.
is like nothing else.
Glue. The same thing was for the linemen, the padded gloves. First game, 2 games, like you felt padding. And then by the 3rd game, there was no padding there. You were just bone knuckles. That's why I was like, I need my special pair that I only beat up during the games. Because my practice pair, by camp, it was done. By camp, I had no padding on it.
Right.
Ridiculous.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Off track there.
I know. I love that. That's gonna be a good clip though. I'm very excited for that.
Yeah. That is the NFL player with the greatest taste in cars today.
Josh
the sickest
Sweat.
collection.
Yeah, sickest collection. You got anything else for the viewers?
I don't think so. Do you?
No, I thought that was a fantastic episode. I really would. You guys take the time. You guys are still here. Please comment on the phone call. I really enjoyed that. I would love to incorporate that more and figure out how we can do that more often. Even if it's like in a live setting, stuff we've talked about before. Let us know what you guys thought about that. But besides that, I think that's pretty much it for you guys, huh?
Also, hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving.
Very much so. Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, cool. We're out.